Throughout my trading career and trading ICT concept, I have heard many people saying that ICT is overcomplicated or that ICT have many things to focus on, from the order blocks, the inversion fair value gap to the breaker block. That ICT teaches way too many concepts for one person to learn and know in order for you to be profitable. Well, after countless of hours of research and trading ICT concept, I have discovered and came to the conclusion that the whole of ICT concept is based on only three concepts, without which the others will be invalidated. These three concepts are the backbone and the foundation of learning ICT. And in today's video, we are going to simplify these three concepts. To know what these three concepts are, you need to stay till the end of this video. It's going to be worthwhile, I promise you. That I can promise. The reason I say these three concepts are important is that the order blocks, the fair value gap and the inversion fair value gap and the breaker and many more of ICT interconfirmation cannot work without these three concepts. So I am going to go over these three concepts one by one, showing the importance as we go along the video. So please subscribe to my channel, like, comment under this video, and also give me suggestions for future videos that I can make for you, because every video that I make for you, I make it with you in mind. So without further ado, let's get to the video. Let's go and discuss the three ICT concepts that I'm talking about. We're going to start with the first one. The first of the three concepts that I want us to discuss is a liquidity sweep. What is a liquidity sweep? In order for you to get a liquidity sweep, first you need to describe or define your trading range. So what are you trading? For me, as I already told you guys, I only trade the New York session, and in the New York session, I trade the New York AM. So let's mark up our trading session. So from here, this is 8:30 in the morning, New York time, and I'm going to mark up 1 o'clock p.m. So this is the New York AM session. So prior to New York AM opening, I need to mark up our liquidity point. So what is our liquidity point? We are going to discuss that as we discuss this point in reference. So the first thing that I want us to do is mark up our first important level, which is our previous day's low. This is our previous day's low. We're going to mark it as such, and we are going to mark up our previous day's high. So from the previous day's high to our previous day's low, that is our trading range. You are going to trade inside of this range, because the market can only trade up and down, can only take out the previous day's high and the previous day's low. There's nothing else that it can do. So we're waiting for the market to either take out the previous day high or the previous day low. So when we get our previous day low and our previous day high, we are going to look for our sessional liquidity point, right? What do I mean by that? If you check out my previous video where I talk about sessional trading, where I talk about how each session affect the trading that you are trying to do, is when you realize that you have your Asian session and your London session and your New York session. So you're going to get your liquidity point of your London session. So from here, you get your liquidity point here. This is your low. This becomes your sell side liquidity. This is your sell side liquidity, and this is your buy side liquidity. This is your buy side liquidity. But this is not only that what you have to do. What you have to do is, because you are waiting for a liquidity sweep, you must know to what extent the liquidity sweep is going to go. So if you're expecting a sell side liquidity run, we're expecting a sell side liquidity run up until the previous day's low is taken. So now, because this is a big range, what you are going to do is you're going to take out your FIB and look for your premium and discounted market. So from this previous day high to this previous day low, you're going to look for your premium. So this is your equilibrium here. This is your equilibrium, meaning that the middle part of the range. So everything above this line is your premium market, and everything below this is your discounted market. So you have to look at for your PD array in a premium market, or in short, PRA, premium arrays. So we have the fair value gap here, which is in an extreme market, and we have our second fair value gap here, which is also in our premium market. We also have fair value gaps here, but let's not talk about this. We're talking about the first fair value gap that you can see that is in a premium market, because the market has a tendency of just trading into the first fair value gap that it see and going further down before it takes out the previous day's high. So now we have our target. We have our sell side liquidity, our buy side liquidity, which is our immediate target. And if the market takes out the sell side liquidity, we expect the market to take out the previous day low. And after taking the previous day low, we expect the market to take out the buy side liquidity and trade into a premium market. Why into a premium market? Into one of these PD arrays that are in a premium market. So these are your PD arrays that are in a premium market. So we're going to wait for the market to trade into this fair value gap or this fair value gap. So we don't want the market to go in deep into premium into these fair value gaps that are located here, because this is deeply in a premium market. So when the market comes here, it will have a change in a state of delivery, whereby the market is no longer offering sell side price, but will be offering buy side price. So now we have our range. So what do? Let's go to the small time frame and see what our first of the three concepts that are important to ICT are. So let's go to the 1 minute time frame. Okay, guys, now we are at the 1 minute time frame. Now it's time to discuss our first of the three concepts that are important to ICT concept. And I said the first concept is a liquidity sweep. So you cannot have anything to do with ICT concept or trade any model or any model on any trading model without first looking at the liquidity sweep. What do I mean? What you have to do is you have to wait for the market to take out the buy side liquidity or the sell side liquidity. This is our buy side liquidity, and this is our sell side liquidity, and this is our buy side liquidity. And on the 1 minute time frame, you also have this fractional sell side liquidity. So this is also liquidity. So you have to wait for the market to take out the buy side, the sell side liquidity. So what is liquidity? Liquidity in short is orders that are there in the market that are responsible for the way the market moves. So below or above every high, there is a liquidity. So above this high, there are orders here, there are stop orders here. That orders are our liquidity. Below this low here, there are liquidity. So below every swing point meaning a swing high and swing low, we have what is known as liquidity. Because when people are taking trades, they're putting their stop loss below a certain high, below a certain low or a certain high. So that stops becomes our liquidity. So now that we know what a liquidity is, now what is a liquidity sweep? A liquidity sweep is when the market goes and closes below a certain low or a certain high. So if you look at this, we have this the market opening here, and we have this fractional liquidity on the 1 minute time frame, but we have this higher time frame sell side liquidity. Why is it a higher time frame sell side liquidity? Because we got this from the 15 minutes time frame, and the 15 minutes time frame, as I already told you guys, is our liquidity pull zone. If you want to get clear liquidity, go to the 15-minute time frame and mark up every highs and low that you see. Those are your always draw on liquidity. A liquidity sweep will occur when the market goes below a certain low. So this is our sell side liquidity. The market goes below this low and fail to close below this low. When the market fails to close below this low, that is known as our liquidity sweep. Why is it our liquidity sweep? Because it shows that the market is reluctant to go down as it closes below this low. Because if you go to the 15-minute time frame, you realize that the market failed to make a lower low. Instead, the market made a low which is higher than the previous low, because it didn't close below this low. Instead, it closed above this low. So that is what is known as a liquidity sweep. When the market goes below a certain low and fails to close below it, that is your liquidity sweep, right? So now why is our liquidity sweep so important? A liquidity sweep is important because in order for you to buy, you need to buy your position from someone who's willing to sell, right? So there are people here who are willing to sell the market. So people who are selling the market here are selling that in the hopes that the market is going to go down and they are going to make profits. So for you, you have to wait for those people to get liquidated. And when they get liquidated, it means that their funds, their money, their hard-earned monies are now floating into the market. And when they're floating into the market, you can use those sell position and take out buys. So you buy the sell position of the people who are trading incorrectly in the market. That is what is important. That's why liquidity sweep is important. So that is the first of the three concepts. Now let's discuss the second concept. Okay, guys, now let's discuss our second concept of the three. The second concept of the three is our market structure shift. Now you can ask yourself, what is a market structure shift? Our market structure shift is when the algorithm that is pricing price is no longer pricing price to the downside, but is pricing price to the upside, or is no longer pricing price to the upside, but is pricing price to the downside. So essentially, it's a change in state of delivery, but the two different things. So I'll make a video about a change in the state of delivery versus a market structure shift. So when the algorithm is done pricing price lower, in this example, the price was lower because the candle opened here and it went below a certain liquidity, which is our first concept. Our liquidity sweep has occurred. Now our second concept is our market structure shift. So now price is no longer pricing. So now the algorithm is no longer pricing price lower, but it's going to change the state of delivery in price high. So what is a change? What is a market structure shift? A market structure shift is when price closes below or above a certain point. So in this example here, or our bullish example, we have the market here making a low by breaking this low and this low, which is our 15 minutes time frame liquidity. And when it fails to break this low here, then this is our first confirmation or first indication that the market might be changing structure, right? So we can expect a market structure shift after the failure to close below this low. So the market was pricing price lower, now the market is pricing price high. So as soon as the market closes above this point here, about this order block, this is an order block, by the way, we say we have a change in state of delivery. This is our change in state of delivery, but that is not important for now. This is our change in state of delivery. Let me name it as such. Change in state of delivery. So we have a change in state of delivery when it closes above this candle that forms our order block. So now when the market closes above this high here, which is a high that is responsible for this low. So for this low to happen, there was this high first. So when the market closes above this high, now we are confident that we have our market structure shift. So MSS, this is our market structure shift. So that is our second concept. Our second concept is our market structure shift. The first concept is our liquidity shift when the market goes below a certain low and fails to close above below it. So that is our liquidity shift. The second concept is our market structure shift. Our market structure shift is when the algorithm is pricing price in a certain direction or in a different direction than it was with the previous candle. So the previous candle was pricing price lower to go and take out this downside liquidity. So when this downside liquidity is taken, there is no objective of the market to keep on going down. So instead of the market going down, now the market is going to change direction and go higher. So that is only going to happen, or we're only going to experience our market structure shift when the market closes above a high that is responsible for this low. So for this low to happen, there was this high, and then when the market closes above this high, then that's when we have our market structure shift. That's how the market structure shift happen, right? So how is the market structure shift different from a liquidity shift? Because here the market went below a certain low, and here the market below went above a certain high. So how are they different? They are different in that when it comes to a liquidity shift, the market does not close below or above a certain point. So this is a low on a 15-minute time frame. The market went below it, but if you can see this candle, none of this candle closed below that low. So that does not qualify as our market structure shift because the market failed to close below this low. So instead, in contrast, the market structure shift, the market closed above that high. So this is the high and this is the candle closure. As you can see, this candle closed above this high here. So now that validated as our market structure shift. When this close, it tells us that price is now willing to go higher up. That's how we know that now we are going to look for pricing to go up. So now we are no longer looking for sell position, we are looking for buy position. By only knowing these two concepts will prevent you from taking unnecessary losses, because if you know that this is a market structure shift, then you're not going to say, okay, this is a CB, so I'm going to take an entry from this CB to go price higher. Because if you take a sell here, then the market is going to stop you out, because if you take a sell here, you're going to put your stop loss above this high, which is now becomes your liquidity. But if you know that this is not a market structure shift and you are not looking for pricing to go lower, then you can say, okay, well, I'm going to wait for this to turn into an inversion fair value gap when the market closes above it. So that's also knowing this tool is also knowing 50% of the market. Now let's go to the third concept. The third concept on its own is a concept that deserves a long form video on its own. Why? Because it's one of the most important concepts that ICT can ever teach you. Anything that you can take from ICT concept, from these three, I want you to take one thing very, very important. In order of importance, this one is the most important, then the market structure shift is the second most important, then the liquidity shift is the third most important. So this one is very, very important, and is the concept of displacement. So I'm going to make a long form video focusing or talking about displacement on its own only, because I think it deserves more time to be talked upon. So what is a displacement? ICT gave this perfect example of what a displacement is using a elephant, a rock, and a swimming pool. He said if you're sitting next to a swimming pool and you throw a rock into a swimming pool, many people may not have noticed that you threw a rock into the swimming pool because nothing will be happening. If you take a rock and throw it into a swimming pool, nothing will happen. That's all. But the difference is when you throw an elephant in the swimming pool, the water will displace out of the swimming pool. Everyone else will notice that something that is not supposed to be in the swimming pool went into the swimming pool. That's why the water is displacing out of the swimming pool because there'll be water everywhere. So I think that is a perfect example of what a displacement candle is. So a displacement candle in simple terms means an energetic candle in the opposite direction of where the liquidity sweep occur. So if you look at this, the liquidity sweep was occurred here, then the candle opened here, then the second candle opened here, and very energetically it went high up and closes above the order block, and the market structure shift. So this is our first leg of our displacement, right? Why am I saying it's the first leg of a displacement? Because we're not only focusing on one candle, because the candle can come and close above here and find out that we have a second liquidity sweep. We have liquidity sweep from sell side and now a liquidity sweep from buy side. So what do? So you have to focus on two legs of the displacement. That means you have to wait for the market to close above a certain high. Then you have to see the market continuously going up again. So that is the second leg of the market of the displacement, right? That's the two stages of displacement. So why is displacement important? Displacement is very important because without displacement, there are no entry confirmation that you can think of. Without this candle here, there are no entry confirmation because if you're trading the 2022 ICT YouTube market, you cannot have a fair value gap without a displacement. What is a fair value gap? A fair value gap is where it's three consecutive candle whereby the first candle is high and the third candle is low does not overlap. So if you look at here, you have the first candle is high here, the second candle, and the third candle is low here. So there's a space in between where they do not overlap. This is where they do not overlap. You can argue that this has been retested, so the fair value gap is from here, but the fair value, as long as the 50% of the fair value gap is not tapped in, this fair value gap has not been mitigated yet. So what do? The fair value gap does not form without the displacement. Your OTE does not form without the displacement. For if you want an OTE, you have to put from the displacement low to the displacement high. So you cannot have a displacement low or a displacement high without the OTE. So this is going to be your OTE level. So I'm going to mark them as like here. So that's why the displacement is important. So the displacement is when the candle closes above a certain high or a certain low. That is the first leg of the displacement. And the second leg of the displacement is if you continue seeing upwards or downwards movement. So this is a huge candle going up, confirming that we have a displacement by closing above this order block and this market structure shift. Now we have a second large candle still going up and closing above this buy side liquidity. So when this buy side liquidity is closing up, we're looking left to say where can the market go to next. So we are going to go to the left, look at our daily range, which is our previous day's low and our previous day's high. So we say if the market takes out this buy side liquidity, where can it go? It will go above equilibrium because it has to go to a premium market before selling, right? So where in the premium market will it go? It will go either to this fair value gap or this fair value gap or a series of fair value gaps that are found here, which are deep in premium. But because the market is not your friend, just pick out the first fair value gap in a premium market, which is this one. So that's what we are going to do. So now this is where we think the market is going to go. Remember, when you think the market is going to go up there, your focus is not up there. Your focus is only here. Say the market took out liquidity. Where in the buy side will it go? It will go into the premium market of the 15 minutes range, which is the previous day's high and the previous day low. So we expect the market to go there, but the market cannot go there without first mitigating this fair value gap. That's why the displacement is important. The displacement happened because it is trying to give you entry confirmation for you to go buy the market and take the market high. So if you're impatient, you can buy this inversion fair value gap, but it will increase your risk in the market because if you buy here, you have to put your stop loss here. So let's see how that will play out. Let's say you buy this thing. Okay, this is where you're buying. Then you have to put your stop loss here, and you target whatever high you want to target. You can see how large it is stop loss is. Instead, you wait. If you wait for this displacement to happen here, wait for this displacement to happen here, and what will the displacement give you? The displacement will give you a fair value gap that you can take your entry at. A fair value gap entry is one of the most easiest entry confirmation that you can ever learn. If you say ICT is very complicated, just focus on one thing. Focus on the 2022 YouTube model. It will teach you everything that you have to know because it is based on the fair value gap, the liquidity sweep, the market structure shift, and the displacement. Everything that I've been talking about here. So once you get your fair value gap here, you mark it, you drag it up until to the point where it's ripe for entry. And to know if it's right for entry, let me do this. This is your OTE level. Let's say this is your OTE level, and this is the high end of the OTE level, and this is the low end of the OTE level. So this is essentially the 50% of the OTE level. I want to change this thing. So let's get the 50% of this range from this high to this, from this low to this high. Let's do this. This is our high. Now let's get our premium and discount market 50%. So when the market is trading like this, you realize that okay, this is your 50%. No, sorry, this is not the low that I want to talk about. This is because this is the extreme low. This is the low that you have to use. So now you realize that this is the 50%. That's why you do not buy here. The reason you do not buy here because this buy is not in a discounted market and we are only looking to buy in a discounted market. So we are looking to buy below this point. So this is where we are looking to buy below. And if you are very observant about that, let me remove this flip so that you can see price clearly. If you are very observant about that, okay, it's fine. So this is the equilibrium that you don't forget that this is the equilibrium. So this is the high end of the OTE entry. This is the 50% of the OTE entry. And this is the low end of the OTE entry, right? So you have to buy the market in a discounted. So we have to wait for the market to go below this low. And if you can see, the 50% is what lines up with this low and almost this low. So this becomes your inducement. This becomes your inducement. Why is it an inducement? Do I have inducement here? Let's say this becomes your liquidity because this is your inducement because it's in a premium market and we are waiting for the market to go into a discounted. So this you do not buy here, you do not buy here. You only buy at the 50% of the fair value gap or the 50% of the OTE level. So the market comes and make this low and gives you a false market structure shift here. Gives you a false market structure shift with the candle closure. That's why I'm saying it's false, because if it's not false, you're gonna say, okay, you have the market closing above this high, so I'm going to buy this fair value gap here, which is also wrong because if you understand, this is not in a discounted market. Sorry about that. This is not in a discounted market, so you have to wait for the market to go below this liquidity point. So once the market goes below this liquidity point, you take out your long entry either at the 50% of the fair value gap or at the 50% of the OTE, which is even better. And you hide your stop loss below this low. And where do you target, guys? Where do you target? You target the first high or the first PD area that you can see. So this is the fair value gap of the daily range from the previous day's high to the previous day's low. In a premium market, this is your first fair value gap. So that becomes your first target and this can become your second target. But as the market goes along, this will be your partials, guys. This will be your partial, this will be your partial, and there will be many other partials as you go along. You can say this is your second partial while you wait for the market to go into 50% of this fair value gap. So, but let's use this partial and this fair value gap 50% as your target. So you're gonna take a trade like that, and it's gonna take a bit of time. You can even take partials above here again, but rest assured that the market is going to the 50% of that fair value gap. So this is it. Here the market went up and take to the 50% of the premium fair value gap, which is in between our daily range of our previous day high and a previous day low. So you buy here and you sell back your position here. You sell your position to those who are willing to buy high price, because you buy sell price, you buy cheap price. That's why you buy in a discounted market and sell in a premium market. Those who are willing to buy in a premium market, they are going to take a loss, because if you buy your position here, the market will return and go down. That's why if you bought here, where is the market now? The market is way down. Now it's just consolidating. So I think that is the end of our video, guys. I don't want to make this video unnecessarily long. So if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and share your thoughts for this video. Also share this video with your friends and family and everyone else who wants to know about ICT concept. Tell them that there are only 3 ICT concepts that you need to know. The first one being a liquidity sweep will save you from taking wrong trades. The second one meaning being a market structure shift will take you from taking trades into the wrong direction. And the third one being a displacement, because there are no interconfirmation without a displacement. You cannot enter at the fair value gap if there is no displacement. You cannot have an OTE if there's no displacement. You cannot have a propulsion block if there's no displacement. So those are the 3 things that you need. Until we meet again into the next video. Peace out.